Life in the bustling city was always noisy, hurried, and filled with restless ambition. Among the millions of people who walked its crowded streets, there lived a young man named Arjun. He was hardworking, ambitious, and determined to make something out of his life. But despite all his efforts, Arjun was never truly happy. He had a good job, a small but comfortable apartment, and enough money to meet his needs, yet something always felt missing. Every morning, he woke up with a sense of emptiness. His thoughts revolved around what he did not have, the promotion he was still waiting for, the bigger apartment he wished for, and the lifestyle of others he compared himself to. When he scrolled through social media, he saw pictures of his friends traveling the world, buying expensive cars, or celebrating big milestones, and envy quietly crept into his heart. Gratitude was not something he ever practiced. Instead, he believed happiness would arrive only when he had more. One evening, after a particularly frustrating day at work, Arjun left the office with a heavy heart. As he walked toward the bus stop, he noticed an elderly man sitting on the pavement near a tea stall. The man had worn-out clothes, tired eyes, and a frail body, yet there was something remarkable about him. He was smiling warmly at everyone passing by. Curious, Arjun stopped and bought a cup of tea. He sat near the old man and struck up a conversation. The man introduced himself as Hari. He explained that he worked as a shoe shiner, earning just enough to buy food for himself each day. But what struck Arjun most was not his poverty. It was the lightness in his voice and the joy in his eyes. Hari seemed happier than most of the wealthy people Arjun knew. "How can you be so cheerful when life has been so unkind to you?" Arjun asked bluntly. Hari chuckled. "Unkind? My boy, life is a gift. Every breath we take is a blessing. I wake up every morning and thank God that I am still alive, still able to see the sunrise, to hear the laughter of children, and to taste this hot cup of tea. Gratitude is what makes me rich, not money." Arjun was silent. He had never looked at life that way. To him, joy always seemed tied to achievements, possessions, and recognition. But Hari's words lingered in his heart like a quiet melody. That night, lying in bed, Arjun thought about his day. He realized he had never once felt thankful for the little things, the roof over his head, the warm meal on his table, or even his health. Everything felt like an expectation rather than a blessing. Slowly, he began to understand what Hari meant. Happiness was not about having more, but about appreciating what you already have. The next morning, instead of rushing to his phone to check emails, Arjun took a moment to sit by his window. He watched the sunrise paint the sky in shades of orange and gold. He whispered softly, "Thank you." It felt strange at first, but also calming. On his way to work, he smiled at the bus driver and said, "Good morning." He noticed the blooming flowers by the roadside, something he had never paid attention to before. For the first time in a long while, he felt lighter. As days passed, Arjun made gratitude a small daily ritual. Every night before sleeping, he would write down 3 things he was grateful for. Some days it was big things, like completing a difficult project at work or getting help from a colleague. Other days it was small things, a kind smile from a stranger, a phone call from his mother, or simply the comfort of his bed. Something magical began to happen. His perspective shifted. Instead of focusing on what he lacked, he noticed the abundance around him. His job no longer felt like a burden. It became a source of stability. His small apartment transformed into a cozy sanctuary. Even the simple meal he cooked for himself felt like a gift. One evening, after weeks of practicing gratitude, Arjun decided to visit Hari again. He found him at the same spot, polishing shoes with his usual cheerful smile. Arjun thanked him sincerely. "You changed my life," Arjun said. "I used to live in constant dissatisfaction, but now I see blessings everywhere. You showed me the power of gratitude." Hari laughed softly. "I didn't change your life, son. Gratitude did. The moment you choose to focus on what you have instead of what you don't, joy finds you naturally. Happiness isn't in the future. It's right here, in the present moment." That night, as Arjun walked back home, his heart was full. He realized that joy was not a distant destination, but a choice he could make every single day. He understood that wealth and success might add comfort, but gratitude brought true richness to the soul. Months passed and Arjun's life blossomed in ways he had never expected. He performed better at work because he approached each task with a positive attitude. His relationships improved because he expressed appreciation instead of complaints. Even during difficult days, gratitude gave him strength to endure with hope. One day, Arjun received the long-awaited promotion. While it brought him happiness, he noticed something different this time. He wasn't overwhelmed with excitement the way he once imagined he would be. Instead, he smiled and whispered a quiet, "Thank you." For now, he understood that while achievements were wonderful, true joy was found in the everyday moments he had once overlooked. Years later, Arjun would often share his story with others, how an old shoeshiner taught him the greatest lesson of life. Gratitude turns what we have into enough, and even the simplest days into treasures. The city remained noisy and restless, but Arjun walked through it with peace in his heart. He had discovered the secret that so many chase yet so few find, the power of gratitude, the art of finding joy in the everyday.